Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we're going to talk about California again. The state has become such a laughingstock this summer, I could probably write a whole book about it. But instead, I'll continue making video after video debunking and laughing at them with you guys. This time, the liberal wackos there have a new issue they are trying to tackle: banning plastic straws from restaurants. That's right. Sure, it sounds like a noble enough cause at face value, maybe. Banning excessive use of plastic could potentially help save the environment, but in my opinion, this is just more virtue signaling by the biggest left-wing SJW state in the country. Remember that South Park episode we covered last week about San Francisco? There they were making fun of hybrid car owners who got all high and mighty about their cars burning less gas. And I also went over recycling in that video, and how while hybrids and recycling can help the environment, and it sounds good on paper, but in reality, they're not really helping that much at all. And I feel pretty much the same about this plastic straw ban being done in California now. Their helping of the environment is negligible at best. Really what they're going for here is bragging rights. They want to ban plastic straws for the feeling of accomplishment it gives them, rather than actually helping. This way, Californians have another reason to look down upon the rest of the nation and the world. But it isn't just the straw ban that we're talking about today. We're also going to go over the ridiculous and over-the-top punishments waiters can possibly receive now for giving out straws, which include possible jail time, believe it or not. And also, we're going to get to some of the other reasons why California doing this straw ban now is pretty ironic, considering all their other bigger problems, like the poo on the streets in San Francisco. But first, let's start with the original story. Here's an article from Fox News with more details. It's called "California City Okays Jail Time for Defying Plastic Straw Ban." Check this shit out. Sippers beware. A California coastal city has become the latest municipality to ban plastic straws, enacting what is potentially the strictest plastic prohibition in the country, because prohibition worked so good the first time. Santa Barbara earlier this month passed the ordinance authorizing hefty fines and even a possible jail sentence for violators who dole out plastic straws at restaurants, bars, and other food establishments. According to the ordinance, violators on their first offense will be given a written warning notice, but the second time a purveyor of plastic straws defies the ban is when the heavy hand of the law could clamp down. In that case, the ordinance cites penalties from the city's municipal code for a fine not exceeding $1,000, imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months. In comparison, Seattle, which in the beginning of July became the first major city in the US to ban plastic straws, only fines businesses $250 per offense. Of course, Seattle is getting in on this too. Looks like the hipsters there started the straw ban, in fact. But at least they had the decency to make their punishments kind of reasonable. $250 sounds like you're getting a parking ticket or something, but the California punishments, on the other hand, sound like you committed grand theft auto. They really think a fine of up to $1,000 and imprisonment up to 6 months is fair for giving out plastic straws? Really, California? God damn, the liberal left-wing SJWs there really have lost their minds. And this straw ban becomes even more stupid when you realize what else California is allowing at the same time. Take a look at this picture and you'll see what I'm talking about. New from Roscoe, it's the Undercover Straw. Are you a Californian who's afraid to end up in the slammer for sipping soda? Well, fear no more. Introducing the Undercover Straw, conveniently disguised as a hypodermic needle, leaving you free to sip in peace. It's easy to dispose of too. Just drop it on the ground anywhere in your California state, especially in San Francisco, if you can. They're already covered in needles and shit as we speak, and they refuse to arrest anyone for it either, so why not join in on the fun today? But really, this seems like it's all a joke, but San Francisco really does let people get away with using needles to shoot up drugs, and then leaving them on the street willy-nilly. If you've been following my videos for the last couple weeks, you'll know what I'm talking about. San Francisco streets are covered in drug needles and shit, and the liberal city government refuses to do anything about it. They're encouraging this deviant behavior, in fact. Not only do they refuse to arrest the bums and druggies doing this, San Francisco is also handing out free needles to them. What? And they're even setting up safe spaces for these criminals where they can commit their drug-related crimes in peace, like shooting up. Not kidding, guys. And then to top things off, San Francisco is also ironically getting in on this plastic straw ban as well. An article from the San Diego Union Tribune has more details. It's called "San Francisco Bans Plastic Straws, Joining These California Cities." Check this out. The momentum behind the movement to ban plastic straws in cities across the country doesn't seem likely to slow down anytime soon, especially in California. San Francisco supervisors voted unanimously to ban restaurants and retailers from selling or using on Tuesday, becoming the largest city to block establishments from giving out plastic straws among a group that includes several smaller ones in California and at least one other major city, Seattle, in the US. Here's what you should know about the plastic straw bans in California. What's happening in San Francisco? San Francisco's Board of Supervisors not only voted to ban plastic straws, but also take out containers treated with fluorinated chemicals. The proposal, which requires a second vote next week, also prohibits restaurants from offering napkins and utensils with with takeout or delivery orders unless they are requested by customers, or there is a self-serve situation. The board cited environmental impacts as well as litter on streets and waterways as reasons for the ban. Businesses in San Francisco will have to meet the new guidelines by January 1st, 2020, when the law takes effect. Wow. Just wow, San Francisco. I'm really in awe of your stupidity here. You can't keep the poop off your sidewalks, but you've got plenty of time and resources dedicated to banning plastic straws. I would already consider this straw thing a non-issue to begin with, but when you've already got way bigger problems like needles and poo in the streets, then I would say save the straw ban shit for another day, San Francisco. If you even need to do it at all. Instead of arresting the bums and drug addicts committing crimes on the streets now, San Francisco wants to fine and arrest waiters in restaurants for giving out fucking straws. You really can't make this shit up. But wait, there is more. There's one more wacky thing coming out of Cali that I want to tie into this story today. In addition to making stupid, meaningless things illegal, like giving out plastic straws, California has also been making terrible, heinous things legal, or less illegal, like purposely transmitting HIV to someone. That's right. Last October, California made knowingly exposing others to HIV not a felony anymore, and this change is in effect as of now, so currently, in the great and definitely not declining liberal state of California, knowingly giving someone HIV or AIDS is almost on the same criminal level as giving out plastic straws. Not kidding. Not making this shit up. It's like we're seeing the next fall of Rome right before our eyes, guys. I just hope our country can isolate this fall just to California, saving the rest of our great nation, if we can. And I still love California in a lot of ways too. I still live here and appreciate its upsides, but at this rate, I can't help but think it will destroy itself one day eventually. And it's hard to feel sorry for the state when all this lunacy is self-inflicted.
This penalty is the same, would be the same if passed under California law as the penalty for knowingly transmitting HIV to someone. Giving a straw without being asked is the same punishment.
Before we go today, let's look at a video about this subject from Fox News. Tucker Carlson recently discussed the straw ban with Ethan Behrman, a San Francisco radio host, who we also went over on the show here before, when we were talking about San Francisco breaking down and having a poo and drug needle problem. And well, now Behrman is back and he has the balls to try and defend the straw ban after all this. Let's check the video out.
We have a severe problem with plastic pollution in our oceans. We now have more plastic in the ocean by weight 36 times than the zooplankton. This is a problem. Why do we need more of that?
I agree. It's absolutely a problem. The question is, what's the solution?
Sure, plastic in the ocean is a problem, but I say California and particularly San Francisco, they need to fix their problems on the land before they start worrying about the ocean. Sure, the ocean's problems will affect us too eventually, and we're all part of the same ecosystem, but Jesus Christ, Cali, get your priorities straight. Also, side note, it's funny seeing this Behrman guy wearing his problematic glasses again, with his pink accented suit to boot. Very Californian.
What if you gave out a spork or a plastic spoon? Could that be life? I mean, like, what would be the proportional penalty for giving out an even meatier piece of plastic to a diner?
So this falls under the Health and Safety Code, which has that as the generic punishment across the board for violations of the Health and Safety Code, which is why you're making the comparison that you are. In this case, look, California doesn't keep...
Tucker couldn't even hold back his laughter here. I know it's a bit of a joke, but I think it's a fair question too. If straws are like the Schedule 1 plastic, then sporks could be like Schedule 2. It's like with drugs, with marijuana being Schedule 1, cocaine is a 2, and heroin is a 3, and so on. Something like that is what California is doing with straws and plastics now, and it's so ludicrous it kind of sounds like a joke. It's like California has gotten so off the charts libtarded that they're pretty much beyond parody at this point.
This is what California looks like in a lot of parts. These are homeless encampments. They're all over the state, including the town that I grew up in, all over the state. And the state does, let's see, nothing. That's plastic, piles of it, garbage, and your state, the one that supposedly cares about pollution, does nothing to clean it up and punishes nobody for doing it.
Another great point, Tucker. You can't cuck the tuck, as they say. And let's not forget, on the bright side, I suppose, California doesn't really enforce its laws anyway, like they were saying. So it's likely this straw ban will be unenforced just like the current bans on drugs and pooping in the streets. Or what about sanctuary cities? San Francisco is also one of those too, and they openly embrace their lawlessness by doing it. Being a sanctuary city basically means they are choosing not to enforce immigration laws. Sanctuary cities then become havens for not only illegal immigrants, but also for other criminals, drug addicts, and all kinds of other deviants. And that's another part of the reason why San Francisco is going to shit. It's a sanctuary city that won't enforce immigration law, and it's also not enforcing anti-drug and anti-public defecation laws either. All the while, they're pretending they're going to ban straws and protect the environment more in the future. Give me a break, San Francisco. Do you guys really think they're going to arrest people for giving out straws? Or how about this question? What if the people giving out straws are illegal immigrants or drug addicts? Will they finally arrest them then, or will they continue to let these kinds of people get away with crimes? I think we all know how that will likely play out. San Francisco might arrest you for straw distribution if you're a white, tax-paying, law-abiding American citizen. But if you're an illegal lawbreaker who's mooching off our system without paying in, then San Francisco will likely continue to look the other way. And maybe one day after straws are illegal for a while, the San Francisco government will eventually hand them out to illegals and druggies on the streets, much like what they're doing with needles now. In the end, I think you guys get the point here. California is getting worse and worse each passing day. One day they're banning plastic straws and threatening to arrest people for them, and then the other day they're decriminalizing HIV and making giving someone AIDS on the same level as giving them a straw for a milkshake. And they're also letting druggies and bums poop and pee everywhere. And they're not enforcing immigration laws either. It's all hypocritical, ironic, and just plain dumb. The virtue signaling leftists running that state are certainly getting out of hand, and frankly, I don't see it getting any better anytime soon. What do you guys think? Should plastic straws be illegal? Is banning straws even going to help the environment in the long run? Or is California just virtue signaling once again? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. See y'all next time.